Okay, now we are going to make our character actually animate and play his little dance moves when he gets a correct answer or when he gets it wrong. So I want you to real quickly check out the script. And you'll notice if you ever wanted to search through these scripts, by the way, you could push Command F and you can search. I'm going to type the word floss, and you're going to see that I wrote this function that when you handle success, when you get something correct, it's going to do this function called play animation, and we have in quotation marks floss. And then it comes up here and it sends this string, this name, into here, and it's going to set this thing called a trigger to tell it to do the correct animation. So now we're actually going to have to use the word floss and trip, because I made when you mess up, you're going to trip. Okay, so let's open up the animations folder, and we're going to select this character. And with the animation window open, you could click this arrow and you can say create new clip, and we're going to name the dance move floss, and I already had it set to this animation folder. So I'm going to hit save, and there it appears. Okay, now so let me set it up here. You can move this around inside this animator window. And so I have the character selected, make sure it says floss here. And then I'm just going to kind of, just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to make his arms flap like a bird for this. And so I'm going to select arm and add a property, and I'm going to say his right arm, arm right, his transform. We're going to rotate it. Okay, and I know that, look, by default, mine said it's 60 frames per second. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And I'm going to go right in the middle, which would be at 30 frames per second. So that's what that means. 60, that right there, the samples means 60 frames per second. That's a lot of frames in 1 second. Get you pretty smooth animation. But so anyway, I'm gonna rotate this arm by 45, but look at it, looks weird, right? So I'm gonna add another property to change its position. So I'm gonna go arm right, I'm gonna go transform, and then position. And then I can control like the location of this arm here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move it up on the Y to a 1, and that's too high. So I'm gonna go 0.7. And then I'm gonna move it to the right a little bit, it's maybe 1.7. And that looks pretty good. Okay, and let's just do that with the left arm now. So I'm gonna click this left arm, add a property called, let's go to arm left, and transform. And I know I'm gonna add both of these. So I'm gonna go position, and then I'm going to go ahead and go back to the left arm again and say transform rotation. Okay, and I rotated it last time positive 45. I'm going to go negative 45, and then I'm going to raise it up to, what did I raise it last time? It was 0.7, I believe. And then I'm going to go negative 1.7. Maybe even further out. Let's go 1.9. And if I wanted the arm in front of the body, I was looking at this before, you can click this over here and you could see this order and layer. If I change it to 1, you would think that would jump it far enough, but I think earlier I set the body to 7, so it's in front of everything, except for his face. His face is probably less, his head is 8. Let's make his arm 8 also. Let's go arm left and 8. Okay, so now it goes in front of his body. And let's see what this animation looks like. So I'm just going to click that, and we're on the floss animation, push play. Okay, he's just flying. Obviously, you can make your dance move whatever you want, your floss move. Now, if I play the game, it's not going to actually play that animation yet. I believe I need to set the couple of things here. So even if I get the right answer, it's not doing it yet. We need to do a couple things. So for parameters, in the animator, you have this thing called parameters. It's like values you could look for. And we're gonna set this thing to a trigger. You can say like a bool is like if something's true or false, or you can set something to a number, an integer, or a decimal, which is called a float. You can do a trigger where it just like pulls the trigger and makes the animation happen. Okay, so we're gonna call this one floss. You're gonna name it floss. And then how do we make that actually do something? We're gonna right click on the idle, and right click, click on it first, then right click. You select it first, then right click it. and then go make transition, and it can transition from that to that. And when you hit this little arrow here, you could now say on this condition, you could say when you're flossing, make it go do that. Okay? And then you're gonna have to really work with this little setting here. When you select this little arrow, you're gonna be, moving these in and out over time, because you could preview what it looks like, because it'll still like play its full idle and then go to the floss. So sometimes you want to I guess it starts from there maybe, and you want it to jump in. So you're gonna have to play around with that a lot. And then we'll select this, and we're gonna transition back. So we right click now and go make transition, and we go back to idle, and we don't need anything there. It'll go here, it'll play, and then it'll come back. But before we do all that, we have to select our scripts, and the code that I wrote a while back, it calls for dragging the character animator into this slot. How do you do that? You just simply, if you take a look here on the character, there's an animator on it. So Unity's pretty good. Let me go back to the script. When you drag this character with the animator on it, if I drag the whole, let me scroll there. I'm going to drag it into this slot. When I drag the character into that slot, it's going to look at my game object and say, hey, there's an animator. Let's attach it to that. So let's see. When I push play, let's see what happens. Okay, and yeah, he does his little Flappy Bird thing. Okay, and the reason why there's like a little delay is that part I was talking about earlier. You have to kind of adjust in here, slide things over, play around with this, see, is it that way? Is it this way? Do you need the idle to play at all? There's and maybe does it have to have exit time? I don't know. You just play around with all those settings and see, and you get it to the way you like it. I feel like every time I do that, I need to see, I got it going a little better now. And then you could see in this animator over here that it'll play the animation, and then you could see it go back to the idle. It's kind of neat. Okay, and so he's doing his little flying around. Okay, so I'll have another tutorial for the tripping, but you're probably have learned enough here to try to do that on your own now. So give it a shot if you want to. Otherwise, you could wait for the next video. All right, have fun.